all yesterday, but I am happy to be here and hanging out with you. Welcome to Facts and 2 Cents. As you know, this is a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. I think I forgot Mama Mia as well. And all of us here. Welcome, 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 everyone. Ooh, I think I got my fade down correctly today, I think. I'm hoping I have a new headsets and everything. Oh, she's like, the music is too loud. Okay, I turned it down now, so hopefully hopefully you can hear me better. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Thank you, Church Nelly. And yeah, I have new headsets and using my microphone. So hopefully it's all sorted itself out. I'm telling you, tech issues is just, it's a pain, but I am happy. Oh, Kenitha says it's okay. So thank you, Kenitha. Ray Raquel says it's okay as well. So good, 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 good. Well, hello, guys. Our faves are, well, they're kind of a little bit quiet doing whatever it is they're doing under a tree in Montecito. And so we are very happy. I'm very happy that they're quiet because we know when they're quiet, they're working. And let everybody else, do whatever it is they want to be doing. But I am happy about that. So before we get into stuff, I'm going to say hello to everyone. Makwangaza, hello, how are you? And she says, our faves are busy making a difference in the world. Yes, they are. Yes, 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 they are. And Church Nelly is here. And Kay Costello, our awesome 2 Cents crew member, is here. And Rosa, hello, Rosa. Awesome moderator Karen M is here. Hello, Karen. And Lisa is here. Hello, Lisa. And Connie. Hello, Connie Bomber. How are you? And let's see, who else is here? Elaine Parker. Elaine, coming in from the UK. Hello, Elaine. How is it going? How is life in the UK today? Hope it's a little quieter on the British tabloid front. That's like, I don't know. That's a wishful thinking on my part, I think. Auntie Jane is here. Hello, Auntie Jane. And Ray Raquel, hello, Ray Raquel, and she's saying hello to everybody. So hello, Ray Raquel, and Sistren is here, and Victoria Fabre. I always love that last name, Victoria Fabre. Sounds like a character in a romantic television show or something. Hello, Hildy, how are you doing? Hildy is here. And who else? I was about to say, I know I saw Lydia. I was just like, where did she go? Lydia is here. Thank you, Lydia, reminding everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining, she says. Please like, share, and subscribe and join if you're able. Thank you so much, Lydia, for reminding everyone. And the little scrolly thing on the bottom is saying exactly the same thing. So if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And just so you know, in order to be in the chat with us, you will need to have been subscribed for a week. And so this is our way of sort of warding off trolls as much as we possibly can. So it seems to be working pretty well, I would think. So yes, so thank you so much, Lydia. And please subscribe and click on notification bell so that way you will know when we drop a video. And also please share. We're trying to build this community quickly. So please share it with your friends and family and whomever else, and so they can join us as well. Thank you so much, Lydia, awesome moderator. And also Pretty Face is here. Hello, Pretty Face, how are you? And so let's see who else is here before we hi, Joyce is here. She's like, hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I am. So I hope everyone else is. So anyways, welcome everybody and our 157 friends who are hanging out with us and who may not be in the chat with us. So welcome, guys. So I don't know about you guys, but I think this past episode of Archetypes has been my favorite. and I'm probably the most shallow person in the world, because everyone that comes out is like, no, 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 that's my favorite. But I am like, I've listened to this, I think now 5 times, and it's just like, I don't know, there's something about this episode that, and I think it's just, I don't know, it's just dealing with moms and kids and just perfection, and I think all of those struck a chord with me, and it's just been like, I just keep listening and listening, and it's just, I love it, you know. And yesterday I was like coming home from playing tennis, and I'm like had it on my headset, you know, on my phone, and coming home and listening to it again, and it was just like, oh. And I think I'm probably gonna do the same thing again today, among the other things that I listen to. But I just really, really love this episode. Again, I loved all the others, but something about this, and I'm sure next week I'm probably going to say the same thing. So again, I could be pretty shallow. And this, I think this has just totally brought that out in me, I think. And so, but I love it. I love to always go back and check out and see who's tweeting about it or what they're tweeting about it. And I was happy to see that Canadian First Lady Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, she has an Instagram account, as you can tell, and so tweeted, but she posted this on her Instagram account, and so I was like, oh, cool, you know. And of course I love that picture with her and Meghan and Jessica. And she says, I recently sat down with Meghan on Archetypes podcast to have an honest conversation about womanhood, parenthood, anxiety, and our shared human experience that connect us all. You can listen now only on Spotify. We all have a path of struggle, no matter how it manifests. Let's listen to each other deeply with more vulnerability and love. Don't believe the type. And then she does it and writes it in French. So I love that. I love that she took the time out to post it. And, you know, not everybody do. And some people are not on social media as much as others. And so I love the fact that she posted it there. And I just, again, I love these pictures with them just goofing off in you know, in those photo booths. And it's funny because I had no idea how she went ahead and you know, how she recorded it with Meghan. But just before I came on, I saw this. JP Davidson, he posted, thrilled to finally share that Sophie Gregoire Trudeau was in our studio with producer Will for her interview with Meghan Markle, and he is in Ottawa, and that's him. Oh, let me move myself out of the way so that you can see it. So he's a podcast producer in Ottawa, Canada, in Ontario, and so that's where she taped her part of the episode. And so I love how, like, you know, after the fact, and one of the things I love is that the fact that there are no leaks. That's, you know, so they're all respecting, and they're like, okay, so now I could do it, now I could you know, share with the world that you know. So I love that. And so it just, I'm glad and so excited that people are excited about this and they're sharing. I love the fact that, too, so many people from all walks of life, whether they're doctors, teachers, lawyers, whatever, business people, you know, whatever, they're all excited about Archetypes. They're getting so much out of the episodes, and I really, really, really appreciate that. And they're coming on Twitter and, you know, encouraging others to listen. So it's not just squatties, you know, more and more people are listening. And the wonderful thing about it is that, you know, so many times I hear, you know, so many times they're saying, you know, wow, I'm not a podcast person, but I really enjoy this podcast. Some people are like, this is my favorite podcast. And so many more people are talking about podcasts that I've run into that I've ever paid attention to. Maybe I was just not paying attention, but I absolutely, absolutely love that. Oh, Mama Jane, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Mrs. S is here. Hi, Mrs. S. Thank you for your super sticker. Oh, wow. Thank you guys for your support. I just started. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate. Much appreciated. Thank you. And so going back to what I was saying with this, also Dr. Shefali, who we know that beautiful, beautiful poem that Meghan read, and she read to Sophie. And Sophie, when she got to the raw part, Sophie was like, "Can I say that?" Meghan was like, "Sure," and she went, "Arr." You know, I love that lioness part, and I love their friendship, and I love how just free they are with each other. And I'm gonna take my banner off so that way we can read this properly. And so I didn't realize, again, it was Meghan has introduced me, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but so many things that she has introduced that I had not heard of, and so many people that she has brought in on the show that I had never heard of. And so Dr. Shefali is one of those people. I never heard of her before. So let me actually take away my brand there, and so I can see it properly. There we go. And so I just feel like every week I learn so much. Like I was saying, when we talked about this the other day, like I had never heard of any of these people before other than Sophie. And I knew her name. Again, I couldn't pick her out of a crowd, to tell you the honest truth. I probably still can't. But it's just wonderful. I feel like I learned so many new people and so many new things, but I didn't realize that what Meghan had shared was the first part of the poem, and this is the second part. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know. I didn't realize there was another part because I'd never heard it before. And it says, there comes a time in a woman's life when she no longer cowers in the shadow of her unworthiness, when she no longer plays small so others can feel big, when she swaps the role of victim for the role of co-creator. There comes a time in a woman's life when she unabashedly and boldly occupies her ultimate sovereignty, when she finally feels ready to claim her space in the world, and when she redefines compassion as unequivocal self-love. There comes a time in the life of a woman when she finally releases her childlike dependencies on others, when she dares to rewrite a new mandate of living for herself. On that, she said, one that says, I release unworthiness and fear. I divorce servility and passivity. I divest inauthenticity and enmeshment. I end the pretense of being someone I am not. And from now on, I declare, I will ascend into my highest power. I will embrace my greatest autonomy. I will celebrate my deepest worth. I will embody my fiercest courage and manifest the most authentic me. The time is now. I am ready to awaken into my renaissance. And I was like, I feel like I'm hearing Oprah speak to me. Because so many of the way how she says things and the words she uses is so Oprah. And in a lot of ways Meghan as well. They all embody this, and I was just like, oh, this is great. I am going to ascend into my highest power. I love that, and embody my fiercest courage and manifest my most authentic me. Well, I think I got the authentic part because I'm just who I am. I don't pretend to be anybody else. So that part I think I got. The other stuff, I'm like, I really like that. I really, really appreciate that. And so I'm like, ooh. So when I came, and I'm glad someone posted it on Instagram, not Instagram, on Twitter, because I just assumed that, again, what Meghan read was, again, I never seen the thing before in my life. I had not heard of Dr. Shefali. And so I'm so happy they did, because it would not have prompted me, because I was like, well, that looks, when I saw it, it was kind of small, but I was like, that looks a lot longer than what Meghan read. And so I'm glad I went in and looked, and I was like, oh, well, what do you know? So I am going to go read this book, and I'm like, I love this. So again, this is a book. It's called A Radical Awakening turning pain into power, embrace your truth, and live free. So I just like, I'm like, ooh, I love it all. So, anyways, I didn't put a link in maybe I should. I didn't think about it. I put a link to her website on the last episode. I'm not. I don't think I did it in this one. So I'll check at the end, and if you want to go check her out, definitely do. So, but anyways, I just absolutely, ooh, I love that. So, anyways, that was my moment of inspiration today. And I was just like, Meghan was doing something with some people in California a couple of days ago. I'm like, this girl posted her on Instagram, Fab Casey, and she says, "Once upon a time with Meghan Markle, what a reminder of the magic that lives inside of us, inside of all of us, and how freeing it is to be true to who we are. The time is now." And that kind of reminds me of that poem we just read a second ago. And so I love that. And so whatever she was doing, and apparently that's her at the bottom there. It's Cassiopeia. Apparently, she is, well, according to down here, she's like a principal, an entrepreneur, a speaker, a life coach, and a host of Time Is Now. So I guess that's her show. I haven't seen it. And apparently I guess she works with Beyonce or Beyonce's mom or something. I couldn't find that information. I mean, I saw something on one of the tabloids. I think somebody post a screenshot of a tabloid saying that she is going to be on the next episode of Archetypes, but I went to her Instagram and I didn't see anything, and I was just like, okay, but whatever it is she's doing, I don't know. I was just like, I couldn't find Hildy is saying she will be on the next episode. Okay. I couldn't find it because someone posted it on it, and I came across my feed, and I was like, well, I went to her page on Instagram and I couldn't find it, so I don't know. So I'm just gonna take y'all word for it because I couldn't find it. And so again, so I don't know what they're going to be talking about. She is a principal in a school, I'm assuming a school. And so that would, maybe because Meghan had mentioned that she went to her old school, Sacred Heart. And Sacred Heart, is her school Sacred Heart? Immaculate Heart. Sorry, Immaculate Heart. I'm like, I know Sacred Heart didn't sound right. Immaculate Heart. And so she said she went there to talk to some of the girls. And so I don't know if Casey, I don't know if she is at Immaculate Heart. I literally have no idea. And so maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? But I can guess what the next episode is going to be about. So, hey, I am up. I am game. I'm excited. And Meghan, look at Meghan living her life. That's why I named the episode that Harry and Meghan are living their best life, because Meghan is having a great time hanging out with her girls, laughing it up. And you see the middle picture there, laughing it up with her girls. And so I was like, you know what? They are having a great old time. They're minding their business and living their life to the full. And again, that is all I can ever want for them. That's what we all have prayed for them, when they were going through all that drama. Now they are living the life that they want to live, doing the things they want to do with the people they want to do it with. And the funny thing is, I was thinking about this and I was like, I have a feeling that all the things that the Sussexes are doing now, that they have pitched these same ideas when they were part of the royal institution, and they will probably turn down or be, we can only do this if, William and Kate take it over or something like that. I'm sure they pitched some of these ideas there and were turned down. That's probably why they got so frustrated and be like, okay, but I absolutely love that they are doing the things that they want to do, and it's so inspiring. It is absolutely so inspiring. And again, no leaks. I mean, the only reason we're knowing about this is because Cassiopeia decided to post it. We have no idea. And so I absolutely, absolutely love this. And you know, Meghan posed for a picture. So I post this because I know it's not a, you know, tabloid or a paparazzi picture. So, which is fantastic. So I absolutely, absolutely love this. Thank you so much, Hildy, for the information. Hildy confirmed that she's going to be there. She better be there on the next episode, Hildy, because I'm coming for you. So there. um, Also, again, one of the things I love is just seeing posts from people that normally I don't know, I've never seen these people in my life. The only reason they come across my feed is because they're typing about archetypes, and you know, any of that stuff will come across. And so, let me again take myself out of the way there. Mary Grove tweeted, and I only got a couple of these. She says, favorite new podcast, Archetypes, a brilliant series of interviews by Meghan Markle that investigates, dissects, and subvert labels that try to hold women back. So well researched and so engaging. Highly recommended. Mary is, you know, she's not a squatty in any sense of the word, but she's a managing partner at a VC, and so a venture capital, I guess, company. And you know, you can see her bio at the bottom there. But I love this. I love to see professional women just, you know, tweeting about, and and men. And it's so funny because I saw this post from this guy and I was just like, he was raving about and I could not find it. So maybe I'll find it and next time pull it in. But it just, I love seeing that. And then Dawn Hucklebridge, I was like, Dawn Hucklebridge. She is a director at Paid Leave for All. And we know that in this episode, especially, Meghan was really advocating and talking about Paid Leave for All, and, you know, and about, especially, you know, families, making sure families get paid leave after, you know, whether a family member is sick or they just, you know, gave birth or whatever. And so she was really, so this is the director of Paid Leave for All, and she's tweeted about it. She's like, don't miss the latest episode, the Archetypes episode, talking paid leave with Sophie Gregoire Trudeau. Thank you to Meghan Markle for your support of the Paid Leave for All campaign and belief in this movement. And so I love that. I absolutely love to see that they are tuned into it. They know it's there and they are, you know, promoting it, you know. And also Neil Soraka, he is actually also with Paid Leave. He did a 1-year anniversary. So he says, I'll never forget the time the Duchess and Duke bought me a few cups of coffee while I was fighting for paid leave, and I'll never stop fighting for the more humane country everyone in the USA deserves. Thank you, hashtag Meghan Markle. And this was the tweet on the right that he tweeted last year when Meghan gave them all Starbucks cards. Meghan and Harry really came from Archwell. The Duchess of Sussex, aka Meghan Markle, bought everyone at Paid Leave for All US a few cups of coffee while we were working overtime to save paid leave. Unbelievably classy and necessary. Truly honored to know she has our backs in the fight to win Paid Leave for All. And this was their little note with the card. Hi there. From, you know, it's like Meghan. Hi there. Just a little something to keep you going. Thank you for all you do, from Archwell. And so I remember them, and sure we all remember they were talking about it last year. So I just absolutely love that. Going on, and I will come back to the chat in a second. I just want to go through this and then I'll spend the rest of the time in the chat. Again, living their best lives. Harry's book is doing great. You know, it's so funny. You come across obviously the polls in the UK. Nobody wants to watch, or nobody in the UK wants to read Harry's book. And then you do. And as you can see on the right, I mean, I didn't read the Newsweek article. I just pulled up their, a little blurb about it, but it's like, you know, 47% of the UK, they support Harry's book and only 10% opposes it. And so the public believe that Harry has the right to tell his story of being told, Let's just get that a little bit bigger so I can read it. The public believe Harry has the right to tell his story of being told to spend his whole life waiting in the substitute bench, and that's from Campaign to Abolish the Monarchy. They are, obviously Republican, but they were commenting on their Newsweek article. And so again, almost half the people support it, only 10% oppose it, and the others are somewhere in between that. And so right now, of course, when you go with Kindle or any of these things, charts, they change every day. So, the Kindle edition, the hardcover edition is #1 in royal biographies, #1 in history, #5 in memoirs, and it's #3 in, I think, the audio. I want to say I forgot to bring that part in, but right, so it is doing fine. Spare is doing amazing, and again, this book is not out for 2 months. Right now, #1 overall #1, as you can see at the top where it says Amazon charts. It's #2 this week because what is that guy from Friends, the one who really had a serious addiction, he just came out with his book that's doing very, very well because he had battled addiction and almost died and all of that stuff. So his book is #1 right now, and Harry's is #2. His book, I think, just came out this week, I think. So hence, everybody is reading his book. So when Harry's book come out, or at least it's close, is gonna be back up to #1. So but Spare is doing amazing. Archetypes is doing amazing. So, I mean, Harry and Meghan are living the life they want to live. They're doing the things they want to do. The things that they're doing is successful. It's impacting. I mean, just the name Spare alone has sent everybody in a frenzy. The funny part of this, again, is to see authors. So many authors are like, whoa, that name Spare is so amazing. Who knew 5 letters could have that kind of reaction? Who knew? But it's amazing. So they are living their best life, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And of course, I love the fact that everyone in Shutter, not everyone, but those crazy royalists are, turning themselves in knots to try to bring it down. So yeah. And talk about Shutter Island. I'm sure you guys, if you haven't heard about this already, I think you remember before, but the Jubilee, this so-called reporter, Eamon Holmes, same Eamon Holmes who called Meghan uppity, the same Eamon Holmes who had was on a radio show. I think he was guest hosting or something, a radio show, and saying how much he had not met Meghan, but he just can't stand her, how he hates her and all of this stuff. He didn't say hate. He said he didn't like her and all of this stuff about Meghan. This same one apparently injured his spine or something recently. And then it said, and then when the Jubilee, he, with all the nonsense that was going on with Harry and Meghan going back for the Jubilee, on one of his, I guess he's on a talk show there or something, he was like, someone should throw Harry and Meghan off of a balcony. And people were in a big hubbub about it. He was reported. Obviously, nothing has happened. Absolutely nothing. Well, enter Karma. As you can see how it started. Popular TV, UK TV host faces criticism for saying Prince Harry and Meghan Markle should be thrown off the palace balcony. Well, how it's going? He's in an awful lot of pain, Eamon Holmes, 62, fractured shoulder after fall down the stair, causing him to undergo another operation just weeks after spinal surgery. That's right. He has spinal surgery, and then he falls downstairs. And I'm telling you, this is what happens. When you try to dig a hole for somebody, you better, prepare your own burial clothes, because chances are you're the one that's going to be falling into it, And I'm telling you, Karma has been paying that island of visits. And every single one of them who has been wishing Harry and Meghan harm, this is what's happening. Now, I'm not here, I don't rejoice in people getting injured, whether they're evil or not. you know. But it's like, this is a warning to them, really. It's like, you wish people bad. I mean, this man sat there on live television wishing somebody would meaning wishing somebody would kill them. Because what do you, if you throw somebody off of a balcony, what do you think going to happen to them? And then they try to brush it off. It's like, oh, it's just it's just, I was just trying to joke about it, whatever. But, Karma don't care for your jokes. It doesn't seem funny to Karma at all. It didn't seem funny to the ancestors. And now what happened? You fall down the stairs. Now, that's not a balcony or anything like that, but, same pain, I would assume. Hopefully they all understand. Karma don't play. Karma is not here for your jokes. Your so-called jokes, your racist jokes. Karma ain't here for you. So I wish him well, even though, honestly, you don't deserve my wishes, my well wishes. But, anyways, I await Karma visiting on quite a few of them in the UK, who has been really, for like the longest, wishing death and all of this stuff. I mean, how do you go around wishing? I just don't even understand this. And they're so boldly doing it on national television too. They're not even trying to hide. They're not even trying to pretend. They're not even trying to mask it now. They know that the king or anybody in the royal family, they will never be held accountable to it. They would absolutely never be held accountable to it. So anyways, I'm glad Karma and the ancestors and the Lord are on our side. That's all I got to say. And they're on our fave side. So there we go. And then, I don't know if you guys saw this. Peter Hunt, he used to be a royal reporter for the BBC. Now he writes for The Spectator. And so he tweeted this kind of weird anniversary a couple of days ago, November 1st. He says, the Queen came through for me, poor Burrell declared, on this day 20 years ago. His trial on the theft charges had just collapsed after it emerged that he told the Queen he was keeping some of Diana's possessions. The complete truth about what went on won't emerge in my lifetime. That's what Peter Hunt is saying. So this was a kind of like a anniversary of sorts, I would say. This was actually, I think, from the royal website. It says, on October 25th, the Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the Prince of Wales discussed the case in a car en route to Bali Memorial Service in St. Paul. The Queen mentioned the meeting with Paul Burrell 5 years ago, which was 5 years earlier, and his statement that he had taken some of the Prince's papers for safekeeping. Given the importance of the prosecution case of the question of whether or not Mr. Burrell had told anyone that he had taken items from Kensington Palace, the relevance of this information was realized and quickly drawn to the attention of the police. The subsequent decision on whether or not the trial should proceed was entirely for the CPS. So as we know, that trial fell apart because the Queen, all of a sudden, that recollection fairy thing played. And it's like, oh, that recollection thing there. All of a sudden, she out of the blue remembered, oh yeah, 5 years ago, Paul Burrell and I had a conversation. And I just remembered it just before he was about to spill some things about the palace. And I just remembered it just in time so that the case falls apart, so that whatever it is he was supposed to spill, nobody would ever know. And it's just, oh, that recollection of the royals, it's amazing to me. And, one of the things that many have said with that recollection is this, this story around that time that Paul Burrell knew about. And it's one of those things that this story, I think, was from the Daily Mail. I brought this in because one of the things that's going around now, especially with The Crown coming out in a few days, is how, oh my gosh, all of it is a lie. And usually the Daily Mail, the Sun, the Express, and they're the ones that's been blasting about, oh, The Crown is a lie. It's not true. It's fiction and all of those things. And last Wednesday, Scobie wrote an article saying, and I talked about it on this podcast, about Scobie saying that the majority of, say, the bombshell stuff in the Crown, which he has seen before as a journalist. They get advanced screening of it. It came from the press, the very press, and it came from biographies that are written by the same people who are now screaming that the Crown is false and that is fiction and that Netflix need to put a disclaimer. And this story is from the Daily Mail. That's why I brought it in specifically. I'm not, on here, use stuff from the Daily, again, grain of salt whenever we do anything with the Daily Mail. But this story was back in 2003, I think it was, that they wrote this story. And that Richard person, who I never remember what his last name is, and I think I deliberately forget his last name, wrote this story. And this is what many believe is what Paul Burrell has and knows about and was going to really confirm, I guess. But it says the gossip, again, it starts with the gossip, in fact, had been restricted to a few hundred people at best. And the senior royals had not been named in the private court proceedings over the injunction obtained by Charles's former personnel consultant Michael Fawcett to prevent claims by another servant being published. And again, if you don't know this story is about this one of Charles's servants accusing Michael Fawcett, top right, of rape. He said Michael Fawcett raped him. And also, he also claimed that he saw a senior official in bed with one of the servants. And so one of Charles's people decided to go public with these accusations. Of course, they denied all of it. And, there's no physical evidence or anything to say any of this issue. But this was what was going on at the time, written by these people. And he says, even so, the stiff Sir Michael, who revealed all of this, who sees himself a shrewd public relations operator, good on television, went in front of the cameras, and in a performance hollow in its execution and calamitous in its effect, he astonishingly opened the doors of the whole wretched business. He revealed that the royal in question was Prince Charles, and rumors said that that was Prince Charles, and said that the rumor was nonsense. He knew it was nonsense, he declared, because Prince of Wales told me it is untrue, and I believe him implicitly. And that was, Prince Charles in bed with the servant or the staff. By the time he finished, Sir Michael had talked around and the unspecified rumor so much that no one in the average intelligence could have been in doubt that it was one of a sexual nature involving the prince and a royal servant. The man could destroy the Prince of Wales was the view yesterday of a senior palace observer. Suddenly, the troubles that had enmeshed the royal family since the fiasco of the Paul Burrell stolen property, which collapsed so ignominiously last November, had clawed their way up to new and unforeseen heights. It revived memories of another seminal moment when some 7 years ago, Princess Diana sat down with one of the prince's valet, George Smith, and tape recorded his allegations that he had been brutally raped while in the royal service. The whereabouts of the 30-minute £1 microtape are currently unknown. The princess, in fact, did not do anything with the tape. She mentioned it to her elder sister, Lady Sarah McCorkadale, and her butler, Paul Burrell. And she told Charles, from whom her divorce was just being finalized and with whom her relationship was rapidly improving, apparently, about Smith's rape allegation, he instantly initiated an inquiry. Then she put the tape in a box, an inlaid mahogany box she kept locked with a key hidden in her apartment. Lady Sarah saw it together with Burrell when they were helping to pack her sister's possessions after Diana's death on August 31st, 1997. But when the box arrived with other possessions belonging to the princess at the family home, Althorp, Sarah found it empty. She believed Burrell had the contents, including the explosive tape. It was the tape that was the real reason why the police went to Burrell's Cheshire home in a dawn raid 3 years ago. It wasn't there. In December 1996, after the initial internal inquiry headed by the prince, the then solicitor Fiona Shackleton, who handled his divorce, Smith had been paid off with a generous pounds of 30,000 plus his legal costs. The prince also paid his medical bills. And so I think the thinking at the time is that this is what Paul Burrell had. He had confirmation about all this stuff. And many believe, and I happen to be one who believes this as well, that whatever, along with, you know, and I've heard this quite a while ago, that Princess Diana did tape George Smith's testimony that he was raped by Michael Fawcett, and who knows what other stuff that's on there as well. And I believe that's what Paul Burrell has, and he has on them. And it's funny how whenever this stuff happens, they deny it, but then they pay off people. You know, if you know, who you had a servant who they claim lied and all of that stuff, but then went ahead and paid him over $30,000, paid his legal costs, and paid his medical bills. And sadly enough, he did have, you know, post-traumatic stress. He was a soldier, and he had post-traumatic stress, and he died. And it just, again, with, you know, Peter tweeting this anniversary. Right now, you know, you see Paul Burrell, and you know, he is attacking Harry and all of that stuff, and he's staunch royalist because the Queen, you know, the royal family, basically let him off, and now he has made millions off of Diana's name and all of that stuff. And many believe, and I am one, that this is the stuff that he had on them, and he has that tape somewhere, you know. So it just is very, very, very interesting to me with all of this stuff. And again, this comes from the British press. They are the ones reporting all this stuff, you know. And with Charles, and, you know, it's so funny, there's an article about, you know, Charles, and somebody wrote a book, and some of the same stuff happening, but you know, with Prince Charles. But it's just like, they claim, you know, again, oh, the crown is fake, the crown is you know, is fiction, and all of this stuff, but yet they're the ones writing about this stuff. They're the ones that's putting it out there. They're the ones that is like, oh, wait a minute, you know. But now someone else is writing about it and making money off of it, which is the reason they are screaming. It's not because they care about the royal family or care about any of this stuff. They're just angry that Netflix is making millions off of these stories that they were making millions off of. They just want to be the ones to make millions off the royals. This is about they are screaming because other people, including Prince Harry, you know, they're screaming because he's making millions off of his own life. Meanwhile, they have been making millions off of him all his life, you know. And it's the same thing that they do. Oh, it's fiction. Don't be surprised when Harry's book come out and they also scream, oh no, this is fiction, this is a lie, this is a lie, this is a lie. Why? Because they want the narrative. They want to be the ones that have this narrative. Nobody else is supposed to make money off of it but them. So I just found it was interesting. And I was like, okay. But who knows where, you know, as Peter says, the truth of what happens is not going to come out in his lifetime. Who knows? You know how these things tend to happen. You think something, and then all of a sudden, bam, it comes right out. So who knows? Maybe one day we will know exactly what George Smith told Princess Diana. It's interesting that she took the time to record it and lock it away, and then, you know, it went missing. So there you go. That's just an aside. And also interesting Republic news. Australia, as we know, they recently elected a new prime minister, and he is a Republican. And I actually thought he would really start right away and, you know, pushing for a republic. But he said in his second term, that's what he will do. But the Sydney Morning Herald, actually, they just wrote this article about what's going on with the becoming a republic thing. And it says the Albanese, as in Anthony Albanese, and name, I think that's how he says it, of the new prime minister. It says the Albanese government will take its first steps towards holding a republic referendum by taking a national consultation tour to shape a future campaign to cut ties with the monarchy. Amen. Assistant Minister to the Republic, Matt Thistlethwaite, said a successful independent push would not put Australians who have affection to the royal family against those who don't, or the monarchists against Republicans. Rather, it should embody shared aspirations for a prosperous and mature nation. And he went on to say, we are on a journey to maturing and becoming independent. The first step is a voice to Parliament. The second is an Australian head of state. And I'm doing the legwork and work behind the scenes to make sure the second step is a success, he said. This consultation is part of that. I don't want to hear from people who are Republicans. I want to hear from Australians who are undecided or voted no in 1999. And I want to hear their reason they voted no and what argument will help them to get them across the line. So this is a very mature way of doing it. Australia, a lot of it is very pro-monarchy, and of course the royal family. I know Prince Charles is going to make a trip down there. Him and Queen Camilla, or I keep saying Prince Charles, King Charles is going to make a trip there, and so who knows? They usually do that, have a royal tour there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Australians, their hearts have changed. They no longer want to get rid of the monarchy. They're going to be pushing hard to keep Australia. They're going to be pushing hard to keep Canada. Not so hard for the black and brown countries, but those two, they want to keep the predominantly white countries as part there, but it's good. It's good to see Australia moving forward, and they're talking. And, again, I love the word he says, we're on a journey to maturing and becoming independent. And I think that's the thing with so many of this stuff, with having so many countries still, 15 countries still having the queen or king now as head of state, is grow up, would you? Will you grow up already? This is 2022, the year of our Lord 2022. Grow up and learn to walk on your own 2 feet. Stop and cut the umbilical cord that's attached to the monarchy. That can't help you. And that's been my thing with this whole thing. It's like, how long do you gonna stay with this cord attached to you? So again, I am happy to see that they are really taking this, this view of things and understanding and approaching it as no, we need to grow up. We need to mature. We need to become adults, and we need to be able to write our own passage where people in our country know that they can grow up. Kids could grow up and be head of state of our country. And we don't have to have a head of state in another country. That's ridiculous. So I am glad to see them. I look forward to hear Canada and the rest of them jump in, and it's like, look, we're out. Mind you, I'd be like, we're out like today, but I understand this, this patient approach to things, and understanding that, yes, there's a large group in Australia that is very pro-monarchy, and so it's probably half now, who knows. But with the younger generation coming up, with immigrants coming in, they don't have the same feelings and attachments as, say, older Australian have. So maybe that will be able to push, get help, as he said, help get them across the line. The people who voted no in 1999, I guess, was the last time they did a referendum on that. So kudos to Australia. Very, very, very happy for them. So, yeah, King Charles has his work cut out for him. So, anyways, moving on from Shutter Island, Prince Harry's Invictus Games. Invictus Vancouver, they have just, hired a board of directors, a new board, sorry. What is he again? Sorry, I just lost my thing right there. He is the new CEO of the Vancouver Games for 2025. And I love this. I love that. Like, I didn't realize they were hiring people like in these positions to come in and be specific for the games. Maybe he would be, working with Vancouver, Canada after that, but I didn't realize they did that for the games. It says, on behalf of the board of directors of the Invictus Games, Whistler 2025, we're pleased to announce Peter Lawless will step in the role of CEO, Invictus Games, Vancouver Whistler, effective November 1st, so a couple of days ago. So again, I didn't realize they were doing that. I had no idea that you have a CEO just for the games, or again, maybe he just stay on for Invictus Canada. It says, on behalf of the board, oh, we just read that. It says further down, it says deeply involved with, that's Pete Lawless. He is deeply involved with Canadian Forces program for the ill and injured service personnel, Soldier On. Peter has been part of every Invictus Games since 2016 in roles from serving as head coach of the Canadian team to being key member of the bid committee that was awarded the Invictus Vancouver Whistler. So kudos to him. Welcome. I mean, he was already part of the Invictus family. Again, he hasn't missed the game since 2016. So awesome for them. And they are, I'm telling you, they are so excited for this games. They have been tweeting about this thing, and it's just like, you would think the games was next year, the way how they hype it and tweet about it. So it's really exciting to see how excited Canada is about that. Dusseldorf, if you have signed up for, I know a couple of, at least I know one squaddie who I'm assuming she signed up already, but she was going to sign up to volunteer. So if any of you guys have volunteered, it says yesterday, this is Invictus Dusseldorf, that's for next year. Yesterday, we were overwhelmed by 2,723 volunteer applications. Wow. Thanks to everyone who signed up. Today, we are starting our selection process to figure out who will be selected for IG23 next year. We want to make this process as transparent as possible. And they were excited. What an incredible result. 2,723 people from around the world sign up to volunteer for the Invictus Game in Germany next year. Thank you to every one of you. And if you have signed up, they want you to know exactly where they are in the process, because it'd be like, well, I signed up, so when do I know? When are they going to make the announcement and all of that stuff? They have, and actually I'm going to put the link so that way, if you've already signed up, you can know when to expect to hear back from them. Right now, they're, you say you start at the bottom, and then they're going to select the volunteers, I guess, closer to the end of this year. And then next year, 2023, they says announcement of the selection results. So they're going to make announcement. And then after that, closer to the games, they're going to start accreditation. And then obviously close to the games, they're going to start training. So I'm going to put the link. I forgot to put this link in the show notes, so that if you have volunteered, you know the progress of when to expect to hear from them. So I'm glad they did that. So, yep. And then Invictus Colombia. The Invictus Games Foundation is happy to have supported Colombian WRS, Wounded Injured Servicemen, in receiving their Professional Association of Diving Instructors pad. It's amazing to see them discover diving as a recovery pathway. And again, Invictus Games is so many things. There's so many things that are involved, not just the games. And it's so wonderful to see the Colombian team and the Nigeria team who have just joined, the latest to join, along with Israel as well. But I haven't heard a lot about what's going on in Israel, just Nigeria and Colombia so far, who have been doing great things and have been adapting to the sports and learning the different sports. That's been helping the vets. So it's great to see this from Colombia. And finally, vote, guys. I don't know. I'm going to put the link in. If the link isn't already in the show notes for this episode, but I'm also going to put it in our community page. Again, I put it there before. If you haven't, please vote for Archetypes for the People's Choice Awards. You can vote 25 times in a day. Yes, you can literally do that 25 times in a day. So if you haven't already, please do. If you're on Twitter, you can do that 25 times a day. Or there's a specific text on Twitter that you can retweet, you can tweet it, and that is also counts as a vote. So you can just knock yourself out with voting for Archetypes. I think my fingers are tired with voting. It's just like I've been voting so much. So please, 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 let's get Meghan winning favorite podcast of 2022. So that's it for that. I am going to jump into the chat and see what you guys are saying because I have talked a lot. Let's just see what y'all are saying in the chat. Cookies and Cream, our awesome moderator, says the Sussexes bought a lot of goodwill when they did their Oceania tour. People loved them. Instead of embracing Meghan, the Unroyals only succeeded in losing global respect with their racist behavior. They absolutely did. The only thing with Australia is their media is so toxic. And obviously, a lot of it is Rupert Murdoch and his nastiness. And so a lot of their media is so nasty towards Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan. They are literally an extension of the British press. And so it is just vile. I stay far away. Like I've blocked all of them on Twitter. They are absolutely vile. But, some people that I've seen who are Australian, they love Harry and Meghan. They're really, and you're right, they really appreciated them on that tour and I think it's the same thing where the media, if you only pay attention to the media, you'd really think that they actually speak for the majority of the people, and that is not the truth at all. There is a section of them that is really nasty, that's really basically live on what the press say, and then they just take that and run and as gospel. And just like in the UK and to a lesser extent in the US, but there is also a section of them in the US that do the same. So it's really, but yeah, the royal family. And I think, they not only lost respect for that, but when people are now seeing what Harry and Meghan are doing, living their best lives now and they're achieving so many things, and what they're putting out is so excellent. Of course, when it's like, you're taxpayer funded and they're not, yet their work is a lot more impacting than yours, that would make people lose respect for you really fast, so let's see. Lorna Williams. Hey, Lorna. Lorna says, under the Indian Act, Canada was recognized as a sea and land at the depth of a plow. So all resources must be shared with Native Indigenous people. Okay. I'm not sure I understand all of that, but okay. As long as they're sharing it with them, I am all for that. So there you go. Thank you, Lorna. Gwendolyn says, people absolutely love Harry and Meghan and want to help. They sure do. They absolutely sure do. And so Meghan and Harry are all about helping and giving. What's not to love? You look at how irrational it is that people who hate them, it's like, you really have to be like, there's something have to be really wrong with you when someone is literally sitting there doing good and giving and sharing and helping and inspiring, lifting people up and you're sitting there and you hating that person. Well, it says a lot about you and not a lot of not good things at all. And so for me, it's like to see people who like literally go out of their way to hate them, and you realize there's something fundamentally wrong with you. There is something wrong with you. And you haven't sat down and figure out your own mess. It's unreal. B10 Pal says, she's talking to Emerald Derek. She says, some of these countries need military might and they have none. Australia, for example, has issues with other countries, and the UK being there is a deterrent. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's time for them to build up their military. This is a growing up period. This is absolutely a growing up period where it's like you're depending on mommy all your life, and all of a sudden you have to grow up and get your wings strong so you can fly on your own. Everybody has to, it's that growing pain. And I think, again, a lot of countries have not wanted to go through the pain. You see a little island like Barbados, are like, okay, this has been long enough. We're out of here. My little country, Trinidad and Tobago, they had to do it. Sure, it was a lot of, they sure when they did it, there was a lot of growing pain, but you got to do it. How else are you gonna fly? So let's see. Compton Caligal says, I found out about Sussex Squad through my Australian co-worker. Oh, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. You see, again, it's just, they're obviously there are people that are not, they don't like the Sussexes for their whatever reason. But then there are a lot of Australians who do. And so the press did not speak for the majority of Australians, neither say the British press, who want people to think that they speak for the masses, and they don't. I mean, obviously, Emerald Derek says, there are enough educated people in all these countries who can run their own government. Time to end the hold on to the monarchy reign. Hello. It's been way more than time. I mean, just, the fact that we are in 2022 and we're still talking about this mess, it's just is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. So yeah, it's time to put them in. If it was me, it'd be like, abolish that whole mess. It's time. Again, if people want to be kings and queens and do it on your own dime, where poor people don't have to fund you. Do it on your own dime. Do it on your own, where you're not head over anybody's country. If you want to stay in England and be king and queen, by all means, on your own dime, where you're not head over anybody's country, do your thing. You do you. But this, you being head of 50 over 50, being head of state of 15 countries, and getting taxpayer, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah. Let's see. Sharon is talking to Sonia. Says, did anyone remind Australia where Harry got the name Spare from? The royal family gave Harry that moniker. So after all these years, they're upset. Well, yeah, they're upset because that was thrown right back at them. Because, again, I always talked about that spare word. It's like you have the royal family doing this to kids and labeling kids as this. But then if a nation rises up against that will go away. Instead, what you have is a people that co-signed that and co-signed the abuse. And so it stayed. And it was like, oh, it's a good thing. Oh, but there has to be an heir and there have to be a spare. And it's just like, no, there don't have to be an heir and there don't have to be a spare. You can have an heir, sure, but why does the other child have to be a spare for them? The other child should have been free from birth to have their own life. If you don't want them to be the person going, to the crown, to the throne, fine. But why do you need a spare? Why should their whole life be dictated and be used as a fall guy for your heir? Why would you want to do that to a child? And so they have a co-signed, again, it is abuse. I don't care how they want to pretty that up. It is abuse to children. And so that's why even now I'm like, advocate for the little ones that are there now, because that is exactly what, if this doesn't change, this is exactly what is going to happen to those kids. And this is why I am so happy that Harry is doing this book. And hopefully this book is going to shame them to the hilt. Is going to shame all of them and call out the abuse and put it, and I'm glad the world spotlight is on this book so that they understand this is abuse. You're abusing children, and again, England, because again, with anything with them, they don't want to look in the mirror and change. They don't want that. When you call it out, it's like, oh no, you're attacking me, you're trashing me, you're whatever. They refuse to look at themselves and see, no, you have co-signed abuse of children. And so it just, yeah, I would never understand, doing that to a child. It's like, what? So unreal. Ethan Powell says, Canada is so tied up with the UK, I don't see them leaving anytime soon. That's true. That is true. But, I still hope. I'm still hoping. I'm still hoping. Hi, Kenitha from the UK. Kenitha says, those who are planning to write Prince Harry's memoir at 40 years must be very disappointed because I don't think anyone will buy a book about Prince Harry written by anyone else after his memoir in 2023. And there you have it, Kenitha. That is why they're angry. That is why they're extremely, extremely angry. I had the displeasure, and because I get all these books for free, I would never buy any of them. I had the displeasure of reading the Prince William at 40 book. And it's one of those things where I'm like, when these people write books, I think some part of their brain turns off where they forget there's something called the internet and there's something called Google. Because the lies that Robert Jobson tells in this book, you're like, are you serious? Are you really serious? This just happened last year or the year before. You think, I can't believe you're lying. And I believe the reason nobody has said anything is because I think probably I'm the only one who has read the book because obviously it bombed. Because he wrote a whole book about nothing. It's like, how are you going to write a book about somebody who has literally accomplished nothing? And that was the whole book. It was like, no wonder it bombed. And all these lies. I mean, we talked at length in this, just in case one thing, we talked at length about Prince William and his Earthshot mess. And if you read Robert Jobson's book, you would think this Earthshot thing that they had last year was this major hit. You would think it was this major hit because of what he wrote in his book. And it's just like, you knew just happened last year, right? And that thing bombed. Only 3.5 million out of 57 million or how many people you have in the UK decided to watch that. And nobody was there when they came in. Like, we literally have pictures. We literally have, the results of the viewing results. Like we did it on this episode. And I'm reading this and I was like, I cannot believe someone literally wrote this in a book. And again, I believe there's been no outrage or no thing about it because nobody's read it. And I was like, oh my gosh. Imagine if I had to pay money for this book. It's unbelievable. Even stuff he said on national television, about, if you remember that BBC documentary, well, there's this clip from that documentary where he was talking about, they were talking about leaking from Kensington Palace. Robert Jobson literally, I think a day or so later, went on Australian television and outed Kensington Palace and literally said, they can talk until they're blue in the face, but they've been leaking stuff. If you read Robert Jobson's book about Prince William, he basically claimed that was a lie, that there was no leaking. I was like, but you literally said that on television. I have the recording. And so it is just funny to me. I was just like, do these people not realize that they were on record? Like, I literally have the recording of you saying it. Even Omid tweeted you saying it on Australian television. And so it's funny to me when I see stuff like this. You're like, I think I was going to write an article about this because it's just like, so anyways, I said all that to say, yes, this is the reason why they are angry at Harry, because they're not going to be able to lie as they did. I mean, stupid stuff that is just easily, it's like you could easily find the truth of. They would put it in there. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So anyways, moving on. Let's see. Lorna says, Canadian Squatty says, Canada is very complicated to leave the Commonwealth because of agreements the British made under the Indian Act. Okay, I understand that. But I mean, Lorna, it doesn't mean they can't, right? It's going to be complicated. Of course, any of this stuff is complicated. Any of this stuff is going to be hard. But doesn't mean they can't do it. Excuse me. Ooh, sorry. Doesn't mean they can't do it. It's, it's gonna, again, growing pains, but they can do it. So anyway. Oh, Black Queen, I just honored that you would take the time. It's like, hi, Pedal, everyone. Busy day, listening in, jumping in from time to time. Well, if you're listening, hi. Enjoy your busy day. I love busy days. At least you're not bored, and that's good. Let's see who else. What else you guys are saying in this chat? I think I saw Robert coming in from Rome there. Robert, I can't find you. I saw it for a second. I wasn't able to click on it, but hey. Have my Martinellis, cranberry preferably. Cookies and cream is like, the Orioles are the messiest people. They always have something nonsense going on. That is true. Or at least something created by their favorite tabloids. So, yep. Victoria Fabre says, Netflix doesn't need to promote The Crown. The haters will do it always. They never have to. Neither does Harry and Meghan. They never have to do a word because people are like, oh, Harry's going to come to the UK to promote the book. And it's like, well, why? He doesn't have to. You all are promoting it for him. He does not have to say a word. And neither does the Crown. They have to do nothing in the UK because you're whining. The constant whining is promoting it. So, yeah. Oh, thank you so much again, Lydia. Please hit the like button. Yes, like us, please. Like us. And share. So, Beaton Power says, it's true, Lydia, that family has hidden skeletons in their closet. We all have skeletons in some way. But I'm telling you, the royal family, that's why the press have blackmailed them as they can blackmail them as they do. Because they have a lot of stuff on them. And so, yep. That's why they can't get on the press bad side because they'll just out them. Hello, Compton Caligas. I'm happy to be joining in. Had a lengthy conference call. I hope it was a successful conference call, Compton Caligal, and I'm happy you're here. I am very happy you're here. Cookies and Spoon said it is strange behavior. Not sure specifically what she's meaning, but yes, anything to do with that firm is strange. They are very strange people. And yes, B10 Paul Burrell now lives a lush lifestyle. Where did he get the sudden wealth from? The firm must have paid him off. He now has a flower shop, divorced his wife, and married a man. Oh, I did not know all this stuff about him. I didn't realize he was married and divorced and now married to him. I had no idea. I had not paid attention to Paul Burrell, his lifestyle or his life at all. But yeah, he wrote, I think a couple of books and has made millions off of those. And he's been on, I know that I saw a video of him on American television. I don't remember which channel he was on. But yeah, he's made millions off of, and don't ask me the name of the books. I don't know. I didn't look. But I know he made a lot of money off of those books. So yeah, he's definitely living a lush lifestyle, in lavish, not, drunk, but I at least I don't know that part. So let's see. Sonia, hi Sonia. Sonia says, I've heard someone on TV from Australia a few days ago say Harry naming his book The Spare is so derogatory. Well, I almost fell from my chair laughing. They can't handle the global impact of Spare. So it wasn't derogatory when you were throwing it at his face and calling him a spare, but it's derogatory for him naming his book A Spare. Yep. Yeah. I don't blame you for almost falling off your chair. I hope you didn't hurt yourself falling off your chair. But yeah, it's these people just no common sense whatsoever. Sandy Powell says the GB Royals have been corrupt forever. Remember that Kiwi 1 told the pirates and the privateers to rob Spanish ship laden with gold and share the loot with the crown. Lazy thieves. Shake your head. I didn't know about this. Thank you so much for the edu. I appreciate the historical edu there. Thank you, Sandy. But, that's exactly what I expect them to do. Exactly. Thieves. They are thieves. Let's see. I am scrolling up. Mrs. S says, sounds like a scene from Downton Abbey with the title person and the servant in bed. Oh, I had never seen Downton Abbey, but okay. There was that story. So, they said it was false, but who knows what else Princess Diana had on that tape. And who knows, Paul Burrell knew where that tape was. And when it got into Princess Diana's sister, that box that was locked, it was not locked. It was nothing in that box anymore. Who knows? Maybe that's why, all of a sudden the Queen's recollection came back. It's like, oh, I remember 5 years ago. I did speak to Paul Burrell and he told me that he was taking some of Diana's stuff for safekeeping, of course. Unbelievable. These people are so fake. Let's see. B10 Power, I think you're it today. It's like, I believe Paul Burrell knows the plot to erase Princess Diana from the earth to solve a social problem as they saw it. I don't know what he knows, but there was that thing where someone in, I guess, around the palace was saying, it was quite convenient. Diana's death was quite convenient, obviously. If she didn't die, Prince Charles couldn't marry. And I'm not saying, we have no proof, so I could say allegedly, but yeah, it doesn't look good. Does not look good. Let's see. Pretty Face says, to put it bluntly, the British would not recognize the truth if it was strangling them. That is pretty blunt, and you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. At least a section of the British public, press, and the monarchy and the government, they will not know the truth. Yep, if it was strangling them, well, they'd be like, kill me. What are you that's strangling me? Let's see. Louise Narcissus says, the power of the tongue can make you, and it can also destroy you. It sure can. It sure has destroyed a great many people. It sure can do that. Kenita says, Paul had Diana's knickers. He did? Oh my gosh. Also, I wonder what he was doing. What he was going to do with them. Huh. Oh my Lord. I had no idea. It's so funny. I'm just thinking that I never really looked or read up on the content of whatever it is that he took from Diana. Now I'm learning one of those things apparently is knickers. What? Why would he take her knickers? Good Lord. It's just like, ew. I mean, I love Princess Diana and all, but her knickers? That's a little bit much. That is a little much. Huh. Okay. British people are strange. At least some of them are. Let's see. Cookies and cream. Oh, she's talking to Educate You says, exactly. The Unroyals have no original ideas of their own. They only think they're capable of doing is something malicious or corrupt. That too. Or just copy other people because they don't know what they're doing. Yep. Oh, hello, Sandy. How are you? I hope you are doing well. I'm happy you're here as well. And listening at work, but listening. Oh, well, happy work day. I'm happy that, you took the time to listen. very honored, really. So thank you. Let's see. Scrolling up more. Educate You Two says, they try to spin the narrative and turn around and they try to spin in negative and turn around and copy the very thing they criticize. Well, yeah, that's Kensington Palace in every sense of the word, every single sense of the word. And whatever it is they copy, and whatever it is they copy, then they get their friends in the press to praise it. And it's just like, again, the madness of it all. Cookies and Cream is talking about karma. She said, be careful what you wish for. Amen is only reaping what he's sown. I have no sympathy for this person. Karma doesn't discriminate. I'm telling you, karma and the ancestors have been having a field day on that island. Like, please just stay there. Stay there, karma, and teach them lessons. They need it. Unbelievable. Like, I never understood, like, how it's just, you could just stay there on national television and say these things and really just say it and know that there are no repercussions. It is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Cookies and Cream says, the royals fear Meghan's popularity and intelligence. That is why they're trying to take her down. They're putting a negative spin on everything she says and does. They know that Archetypes is a success. And I'm telling you, they are definitely throwing everything but the kitchen sink. Well, they've thrown that too, I guess. Yep, this is exactly true. So it's a success because that's all they're talking about. I mean, something is successful no matter how they're pretending to be critical of it. You never hear what the others on Shutter Island do, whatever thing they do, say the day before, even on that day, other than their rota that travel with them and talk about it. Nobody else outside of that really talk about anything they do. You don't hear whatever they do on, say the television, or, their morning shows the day after, because nobody cares. It has made very little impact in any way, shape, or form. The only ones they're like talk about at nauseum is literally Meghan says boo, and everybody's like, write 10 columns about boo. It's unreal. Oh, Mama Jane, please. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're sick. Oh, no. Stay in bed. Chicken soup. I mean, this is coming from a vegan. Chicken soup. If you're not vegan, it used to help me when I was sick. And tea. That's definitely my go-to. And then stay in bed. Kenneth says, I'm living in the UK, GB, and it is Harry's story to tell. All those royalists have ordered his books, I am sure. Oh, yeah, they'll be the first to read it because they're going to be there investigating and trying to point out all the things that they're going to claim that he's lying about because, they are just the truthful people. They are just, the beacon of truth. So amazing. Gwendolyn Daniels at the bottom here. Gwendolyn says, William and Kate's children has problems. They're really sad. No home raising. They're kids. They're kids being kids for me. They're kids being kids. A lot of things that they do are just, learned behavior, having taught kids. I mean, they're just kids being kids for me. Of course, we all think differently with that. It's just, that's what kids do. They imitate or they just act their age. So, I mean, yes, we have to, train and teach, but yeah. Compton Caligar says the tabloids blaming the spare Charlotte instead of George. And again, this is why I was so upset about that. They were bringing those kids and putting them in front of the press. That's exactly why they have started at this age. They've already started labeling and started criticizing. I mean, again, how do you criticize a 70? Like, Seriously, you read an article about a 7-year-old child, and I think that's how old she is, 6 or 7, I think Charlotte is. Like, that is why you protect your children. And again, that is that air spare nonsense. They are starting it young. And this is why I am hoping that Harry's book resonate and cuts and shame them in from this behavior. Because again, these kids are the ones that are going to suffer. And I know some squaddies here, one of them refused to come back and watch the or at least listen to the show, because she's upset that I care about William and Kate's kids. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but they're children. I don't care who their parents are. They're children, and I care. And I wouldn't want that for Harry and Meghan's children. I wouldn't want that if I had children. I wouldn't want them in that situation. And I certainly don't want these kids in that situation. So that's why I'm hoping, I'm praying that Harry's book really dismantles that whole system. Because again, these are children, and abusing children, I don't care who their parents are. Abuse to children is never okay. It is never, ever something that should ever be tolerated. So yeah. Let's see. Kathy says, Petal, they keep proving Meghan right when she mentioned loud noises from small spaces. I love how shady Meghan is. She says it, and it's just, and she does it so classy. She says it so classy. A petty me would be like, y'all are just small and little people, and I would just let it be known. Meghan just said it, and it's just shade, and it cuts just right. I love it. I absolutely love it. Educate You says, she's talking to Content Cali guy, says Camilla wouldn't let them treat her children that way, and she hated Diana, so she doesn't care about her children or grandchildren. Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, of course, one of her kids is a drug addict, but it doesn't mean, you didn't treat the child right. A lot of kids just tend, they grow up and they make bad decisions. But yeah, I'm sure she would not want her kids to be treated as spares. She would not want that. I mean, what mother would want that? So yeah. Mad World, hi Mad World, says a person can only stand being mistreated for so long. The minute they go after their partner and children, they will walk away with a slim chance of letting them back in. That's what Harry seems to be doing. Yeah. I mean, and also too, sometimes people could take abuse, like you can abuse that person, but don't go after the people that they love. And it's exactly what you're saying. They can take it, but don't go after, and it's sad that he would even have to be in a situation where it's like he's taking people abuse. Nobody should have to take any abuse. Nobody should ever have to put up with other people's abuse. I don't care what titles or whatever your position. Don't take it. Walk away. Amazing. Marjorie M. Hi, Marjorie. Marjorie says the palaces are so scared they're putting out that Harry uses a ghostwriter when you think they can't get any lower. Well, yeah, I mean that's not news. He uses a ghostwriter. That's not news. That was put out when they announced the book. So it's the same ghostwriter that wrote Andre Agassi's book. I forgot his name, and he's excellent. So yeah, and that's not a slight in any way at all. I mean, a lot of people use ghostwriters. If you want to call, his name is on the book, but in a way, Jonathan Dimbleby was Prince Charles's. I mean, it was Prince Charles's words, a lot of it, and so he wrote that book with Jonathan Dimbleby. And so yeah, having a ghostwriter is nothing to be it's nothing to be embarrassed about. That a lot of people use as ghostwriters. So, and again, he's an excellent ghostwriter. So Apparently, Andre Agassi's book is a great book. I haven't read it, even though I loved Andre Agassi when he was playing tennis. If you don't know, he was a famous tennis player. I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe, when he retired, maybe more. So, yeah. Come to County God says George pinned Charlotte at a funeral and she called out, ow. Camilla got mad and had words with Kate. The pic and the video are hilarious. Again, they're kids. This is why you don't bring this. This is why I've been saying those kids should not have been there. If you have a close where there are no cameras, where there are no press, and you bring them, fine. The problem with that is putting children like that in that position in front of a press. And then you have stories like this. Why is that story? Why are you talking about, what is it? I don't know. George is 9, 10 years old and a 7-year, whatever their ages are. These are children. You should never have put them in that position. That's what, big brother, little sister do. They pinch each other and chase each other and, unfortunately kick each other and chase it. That's what they do. And especially when they're bored. That's just children's behavior. They should never have been in that position. So that's my point with that. Let's see. George Burno, how are you? I'm sorry, Joseph. Did I just call you George? I think I was just reading George. Joseph Burno says the Sussexes are single-handedly outworking the so-called working royals by a country mile. Yeah, those so-called working royals had been on vacation for I don't know. I think someone said 17 days they had no engagement. And it's just like, yeah, that's working for you. It's just, I mean, these are the same people who had all summer off. Then they had the mourning period for Queen Betty. And then they took 17 days off because their kids were on, I guess some kind of break from school. And it's just like, yeah, working royals, huh? Sure. Absolutely. Ray Raquel says the unroyals and firm are so good at using recollections may vary. They sure are. They sure are. And they sure remember things at convenient times and forget things at very convenient times. Let's see. Do a couple more. Oh, Alan Vernon, thank you so much. I appreciate your donation. Thank you. And he says, my question is, why such a fuss over season 5, but not 1, 2, 4? Well, Prince or King Charles doesn't want anyone to remember that he cheated on Princess Diana, treated her horribly, and him and Camilla mentally abused this woman. He doesn't want people to know that. He doesn't want the younger generation knowing that. And, he has friends in the media who can basically try to act like none of it happened. Basically, what they're trying to do is erase Princess Diana from the pages of history. And that is what they're trying to do. I mean, we saw them do it with the BBC documentary. They hate the Crown because the Crown is going to recreate said documentary. And so they don't want the Prince Charles. That's why they're so adamant about having a disclaimer. That's why they have all their people that they've given CBE, OB, whatever, all those so-called honors, claiming that, oh, it's unjust and it's fabrication. How dare they? They are going to destroy our royal family. That whole mess. That's the reason. They want to erase from memory what they did to Princess Diana. It's the same thing. They're doing the same, trying to do the same thing to Harry and Meghan. Everything they said, they claim, oh, they're lying. They're lying. Why? To discredit them. That's what they're doing. And that's why Harry and Meghan are documenting. That's why the Oprah Winfrey interview, they're saying things in whether it's interviews or the Me You Can See, whatever, all of those things is public record on there so that down the road, if, Who would have thought BBC would have, basically locked in a vault that interview? But they have. And so there's a generation that might come up, if their parents hadn't recorded it or whatever, wouldn't even know that exists. They wouldn't know that documentary exists, and that's what they're trying to do: erase her from history. Now they make money off of her. They make money off of her wedding dress. They make money off of all kinds of things Princess Diana related. But let's, erase her. Erase all the things that we've done to her. Erase that from history. And so it just, again, they're trying to do the same thing to her son. Strip him of his title. Strip him. Don't let him speak. I thought you left because you wanted privacy. Yeah, that's what all of that is about. They don't want them to speak. So Karen Werner. Hi, Karen. Karen Werner says leaving can be done for all countries if they want to leave. They just have to want to do it and stop making excuses. Every such thing as that is always complicated to enter and to leave can be done. Yeah, exactly. If they wanted to do it, they would do it. A lot of them, I think a lot of the leaders love the perks. They love hanging out with the royalty. They love all that stuff. So a lot of them wouldn't want to give that up. And that's why, for me, a lot of times I question when they're like, oh, yeah, we'll do it next year. It's sort of like kicking it down the road so they never have to do it, meanwhile, enjoying the perks of being close to quote unquote royalty while your people are suffering. So that's my thing on that one. Oh, Kathy says, hey, Paddle, jumping late, rainy day in Trinidad. Oh, it's raining. Oh, my goodness. Tucked in and listening. Hey, Squatty, hugs to all. Well, I am happy you are tucked in. And Trini, it's raining in my home. It's raining on my people. Oh, my goodness. I recently saw a video of a flood in Trinidad. I was like flabbergasted. It's just like, oh, my gosh. These floods are everywhere. It's unreal to see. It's so deadly. So I'm glad you're tucked in. Stay safe, Kathy, and I'm happy that you're listening. Oh, my peeps. Nalissa, MNMN. What does that mean, Alyssa? Tell me. NMN. I mean, if, no pressure. If you want to, you don't have to, but, I'm just being nosy as usual. She says, as I always say, these books they write are meant for future generation. Rewrite history for the future reference. That is why they spice them up with lies. Exactly. And that's why it's so important that Harry and Meghan, I mean, if nothing else, for Archie and Lily. So when they're grown up, God forbid Harry and Meghan are not here when they're, grown adults, they don't have to listen to the nonsense from royal reporters, that future royal reporters who will pick up on the nonsense that they're doing now. They would have their own parents' words. They'll have, whether it's a book, and I'm glad they're doing it on different mediums, whether it's a book, a documentary, a movie, whatever, interview, whatever, they have their parents' words. And I believe that's why they're doing it. One, it protects them, and also they can go to their own parents and no, this is what my mom said that happened, and I trust my mom's word. And so, yeah. Let's see. Madwell says the fact that the royal family doesn't believe in safeguarding their children is sad. They will throw them to the wolves in order to save themselves. Harry and Meghan is fighting tooth and nail to protect theirs. Exactly. It's just, for me, again, it's a culture of abuse. I keep talking about this all the time. It is a culture of abuse where it's like, it's okay to do it. Where it's like, you have people are like, no, there has to be a spare. And it's like, you're saying they have to be abusing children. It's okay that they abuse kids. People they throw out the word, I think, maybe sometimes without understanding what that means, and it's like, you're co-signing abusing a child, so how amazing. Let's see. They sure are black queen. Just like the Royal Mafia family have been the biggest grifters over 1,000 years. Disgusting. Yep, it sure is. And they're still grifting. Gail Anita One says, hi, Gail Anita One. How are you? Gail says, it's like the story of the emperor has no clothes. Everybody knows he's lying, but they don't want to admit it to appease him. Exactly. I feel that way about the whole royal institution. I mean, and everybody does. It's kind of like, but if we don't say anything, nobody's going to think they don't have any clothes, although everybody knows they don't have any clothes on. It's just like, oh. Sharon Davis. Hi, Sharon. Sharon says the royals know that Harry would never lie on Her Majesty, so this book will be factual, and that is what scares them the most, I believe. Yeah, absolutely. That, and they can't go writing any other book because nobody's going to read it. Oh, all of the, you can only imagine. And I just read it earlier when she said that, that Harry at 40 book is like, oh, shoot, really? We're going to have to squash that Harry at 40 book. I'm sure Robert Jobson has been starting to write. No, he has been one of the most vocal critics and attacking Harry for writing his book. Because, Robert Jobson has a Harry at 40 book writing that he's probably had to squash because Harry's like, nope. Joseph says, to be taught at birth that you are an inferior second-class spare, no matter what you accomplish. Balderdash. Oh, I'm telling you, it's I don't understand it. I just don't understand how you could do that. Lavertha says, hello, fellow squatties. Really enjoying when Polo throws everything on the barbecue grill. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Lavertha. Thank you. Our squatty barbecue grill. Let's see. Do a couple more. And then I'm off to go play tennis. Eileen Moore says, but they didn't label Prince George or Princess Charlotte the spare. They have already done that, Eileen, unfortunately. They have already done that. And, they're not going to come out and say, George is, Charlotte is a spare and Louis is a spare. You look at how they're treated and how they're written about and spoken about, and you look at already, you have the picture of, George with the, with the Queen, and then there's that. And I mean, they've already done that separation. They've already started doing that. What is it, 2019? And even probably before, but 2019, when they had that picture, when people are like, oh, Harry saw that picture, and that's the thing that made him not want to be the royal family because he felt left out because they've already started doing that separation. And then you see, again, I've been talking about them writing articles about Charlotte, about some nonsense that, supposedly happened at the funeral. Again, they've already started. You've seen it with, just with little Louis. They've already put him in a box. So they've already started, even though they haven't said, Charlotte is a spare and Louis, but how they're spoken about and how they're written about, and that separation, it's already happened. So, and as it'll just, the press writing about them, it'll just get worse and worse as they grow. So, yeah. And which is why I am hoping, with all hope, that Harry's book shamed them into changing. Do I believe they'll change? I mean, they're so set in their ways, probably not, but, hope, I can only hope. And if they don't change, then I'm glad Harry is doing what he's doing, because then he's given them a blueprint of how to get out. When they're of age and they're able to leave, they will know that they can get out. They don't have to stay in a place that labels them and abuse them. They don't have to stay there. So, yeah. Terry, hi Terry, how are you? Terry 8 says Australia is totally media control, and the UK also. There will always be hatred towards Meghan and Harry. And some portions of the US, I have to say the same way. I will say it a million times, where there's Rupert Murdoch media, and you have in the UK, you have Rupert Murdoch, and you have Lord Rothermere, who is now has his tentacles in the US and also Australia, where you have those organizations, you'll always find the stuff. You'll always find democracy hanging in the balance, where their democracy and anything good really will not, I mean, more than not, they will topple democracy. We are literally hanging off a cliff right now because of it. And I don't understand why they have been allowed to do what they've done. I really don't understand why they still have license to operate in countries, especially the US, Australia, and the UK. I don't understand why governments have it. And you don't want to, and that's again too is the thing. You don't want to pull it because free speech and all. But this isn't free speech issue, right? If you have an organization where it's like, it's not that they're just challenging what it's like, if I say something and someone is challenging, they have a different opinion and they're challenging it, whatever, that's fine, your freedom. But when you're doing stuff where it's outright lies, where there is no truth, and you're using that against people and you're using that to destroy people, that's a complete other thing. That is completely a different thing. We can have differences of opinion, but when you have taken outright lies and twisting it, and it is to a place where if you lie long enough, it turns into truth. People will just get tired of it and just accept it as true. That is a problem. And this is where Rupert Murdoch's press is, and this is where the Rothermeres, and that's what their media is about. And for me, that should never be allowed to exist. It should never be allowed to exist. So I don't know if it were me and I were in some kind of a position where I would pull them. I would pull the license. They will never be able to operate in my country. I think New Zealand is like that. Rupert Murdoch is not in he's not in New Zealand. I think that's what I heard. I haven't checked it, so maybe I could be off there, but I think that was one of the things that I heard, that they would not allow Rupert Murdoch in Australia. I'm sorry, in New Zealand. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's do one more before we jet out. Oh, hi, Rosanna. Happy you're here. Rosanna's like, good afternoon, family. Happy to hear you all. Well, I'm happy you're here too, even though we are getting ready to say bye. Let's see. I think we'll end here. Basically, Lydia is like, we can vote until the 9th of November. Anybody who can vote, please go out and vote. And thank you, Lydia, always reminding to do the civil duty and, to do what we need to do, whether it's voting for Meghan or it is, subscribing and like, subscribe, share, and all of that. Thank you so much, Lydia, for that. So we're going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, please vote for Meghan. The link is already in the show notes. If you haven't, had a chance or you don't know where it is, just look in the show notes of this video and you will see it's already there. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Trish, Nelly, Karen M, Julia Rock, Keys and Cream, who do an amazing job to keep our space safe and wonderful and free of trolls, etc. Thank you guys. Thank you so much to our awesome, take myself out of there, to our awesome 2 Cents crew members, to our new members, Diane, and oh my days, welcome again to our 2 Cents crew. I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time and for, out of the kindness of your heart, supporting our channel. I appreciate it. To our Go Soul members, thank you so much for really donating again out of the kindness of your hearts. For your support, whether it's super chats, super thanks, super stickers, PayPal, Cash App, merchandise, every way that you support the channel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Blah. Thank you. I can't speak anymore. But anyway, guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with me, for spending an hour and so, oh my gosh, about almost 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. I am off to play tennis, and I will see you. Tomorrow. So I'm going to end this with some music. And this time, Church Nelly, I can be louder. Church Nelly was like, Patty, you're too loud. I mean, the music is too loud. So hopefully this is not going to be too loud. So anyway, I love you guys. I will see you next time. Possibly see you hanging out with Baron later as well. So I love you. Bye.